Alrighty, hello and welcome. My name is Hunter Artman. I lead one of the sales engineering teams here at Abnormal AI. And today we're going to be walking through three magic tricks, if you will, three different ways that you can use the portal that might not be immediately obvious. The goal here is that hopefully you learn something and can share this kind of information on with your customers. So with that, let's get into it. Okay, the first way that we can use this to get a little bit more insight into our environment is actually going to be on the dashboard. So this dashboard that you're looking at is where your customers are going to get dropped whenever they initially log into the portal. There's lots of good information here, but down kind of hiding at the bottom is the recipient employees breakdown. Now there's other ways that you can kind of get this information out of our portal, but to me, I find this one to be the easiest. Now, it defaults to being set to VIP. We can adjust this, and we would think that VIPs are going to be attacked from a phishing perspective a lot, and we need to be focusing on educating our VIPs around identifying phishing emails. And while that is true, your CEO, Chief Technology Officer, CFO, any of your C-suite or vice presidents are going to have potentially more access and the ability to do more damage in the portal. They don't necessarily, not in the portal, but in the environment. They don't necessarily represent the entire story. So one way that I've seen a couple of customers get a lot of use out of this widget is to actually switch this over to all employees. And we start seeing some of the lower level employees that might have access to sensitive materials, whether they might be in accounting, something of that nature. And they are also going to be under attack as well. So now the question is, what do you do with this information? Well, this would be a prime example of employees that we would want to add into maybe some additional security awareness training or some phishing simulations. We can throw a subtle plug in for Abnormal's AI phishing coach here that can do all of this automatically. But realistically, whatever security awareness training tool you're utilizing, you want to make sure that you're using it the most effective way that you possibly can, and targeting the employees that are getting attacked the most with phishing emails is definitely going to be pretty high on that list. Now, the second one really utilizes artificial intelligence to be kind of a force multiplier. And it leverages something that Abnormal has recently released called the AI Security Analyst. And this is an AI agent that customers can email and ask for specific metrics, specific charts, or specific breakdowns of information within their environment. So we can look here, we have a value report that was requested via the portal, and we can actually go in and see kind of the timestamps around how the end user was interacting with the AI and adjusting that report to be most appropriate for their particular environment. And we can even see the output here by downloading. I've actually already got this queued up to go, where the end user was looking to get a breakdown of all the messages that are hitting the environment after the secure email gateway has looked at them, what kind of gray mail they're getting, spam, attacks, and then the employee reported emails that were automatically triaged. The goal here for the end user is going to be to show value to any executives on their team around how many gray mail messages are being remediated versus how many attacks, and then ultimately showing the ability to reduce the amount of employee reported emails that are automatically triaged. The last area I'll touch on is really going to be more for your more advanced users that might be interested in taking information out of the Abnormal portal and utilizing it in other places in their security stack. So in this case, I have an account takeover that is highlighted right here. This is one that I go through on demos really often, and we're not going to go into what exactly is going on in this account takeover. But long story short, we have an anomalous login from an IP address here, 113.89.102.166. So a public IP address that is anomalous and has tripped the abnormal AI agent here on detecting things like impossible travel or suspicious user sign-ins. Now, if I'm a security analyst and I want to take this information and utilize it elsewhere, there's some information that I also might want to be grabbing from this portal outside of just the IP address. And if I click into the IP address, this actually takes you into the threat intel base, which is one of the many knowledge bases that Abnormal has in the portal. And in the threat intel base, I'm able to get a little bit more information about this particular IP address, be able to see stuff like what ISP this is associated with, what geolocation it is. And we can also, and this is most important, be able to look up annotations. And annotations in this case are different threat actors that are associated with this IP address. So here we have Scattered Spider getting called out here as a threat actor, and a quick Google search will actually take you to a Wikipedia article that will kind of break down a lot of Scattered Spiders threat tactics, where they operate from, kind of why they're dangerous. But this is fed from multiple different threat intelligence feeds. So being able to grab annotations like this and do a little bit more research on an IP address before we take this to our firewall or DNS filter or set up a rule somewhere else on it is going to be really helpful in your workflow. So those are 3 different ways that you can utilize the Abnormal portal that don't immediately jump off the page whenever we're going through a POC or we're evaluating Abnormal as an email security solution. Hope this is really helpful for you. Hope it's really helpful for your customers. And please let me or anybody else at Abnormal know if there are any questions, and we'll be more than happy to help you. Thanks.